Right? So what did I have to do? What I had to do is I had to subsidize my business. Because I had to compete either by putting more people on the job than my so I had a private sector competitor. The private sector competitor we had was cleaning the fashion district, right? They had that contract for 9 years, and I couldn't get the contract away from them. And when I said to them, what's going on? They said, well, we've had 27 people who've been working on this contract every day, 7 days a week, for the last 10 years. Same people. Never had anybody quit, never fired anybody. Right? Never had a single workers' comp claim. Imagine that. Not a single workers' comp claim in the room. When I asked if any of their workers spoke English, the answer was no. So not a single workers' comp claim was not a big surprise. But how was I going to compete? These guys knew their jobs backwards and forwards. They knew how to use the equipment. They knew everybody on the street. They knew they were the most efficient team humanly possible, and I was throwing out a team of people who otherwise were unemployable. So there's a couple of ways that you can compete, okay? And you have to figure out whether or not you have this competition, right? So one is a price advantage. And this is where remaining a nonprofit helps. A price advantage can come from the fact that you actually get people to give you free money, which your private sector guy does not do. There's nobody making donations to the coffee shop down the block. Nobody's walking in going, hey, here's $50,000 to buy some equipment, so you don't have to borrow money or pay for it. Nobody's saying that, okay? Nobody's saying, hey, we'll give you a subsidized loan. So that's one of your advantages. That only happens because you're a nonprofit. Okay? And I will tell you that foundations and individuals love giving money to this. They love it. Because they give you $50,000 to buy equipment, and then you're not going to bother them again because you're now earning revenues. Okay? So you have that to create a price advantage. Okay? That is important. And it's important because remember, this business is not going to make money for you. This business is going to support a program. Okay, so the way we looked at it at Chrysalis was we had a $4 million business that helped 1,000 people a year. It lost $400,000 a year. And that's the way some people would talk about it. So it was a great business, right? $4 million business lost $400,000 a year. Let's stay in that business forever. But now I redefine the terms, just like I did with board members and volunteers. And I said, you know what? I'm running a $4 million program for 1,000 clients, and I only have to raise $400,000 to do that. A $4 million program helping 1,000 clients, and I only have to raise $400,000 to do it. That's a great program, but a lousy business. As one of my board members used to say to me all the time, he used to say, Adlai, we're in the stupidest business in the world, and that's exactly why we do it. Okay? So, if you're looking to subsidize a program, to make a program mostly self-supporting and self-sustaining, this is a really good way to do it. But remember, you're running a business. You're running a business. Okay? The other thing that you have often, so that can give you a price advantage, right? The fact that you're getting some free money. The other advantage you might have is a sales distribution advantage. Okay? The greatest example I think of a sales distribution advantage is the Girl Scouts. Right? What do they pay for distribution of their products? Right? So from a sales distribution standpoint, not only do they pay zero for their entire distribution chain, but they're so cute that you can't say no. For those of you in the room who are private sector and run businesses, you know this. It's cash flow. Cash, cash, cash. And for you to run nonprofits, you know the same thing. You get your money whenever donors feel like giving you money, but you got to make payroll once a week. Right? So now let's think about it. We run a business. We run a street cleaning business. We run a coffee shop business. Right? Let's run a street cleaning business, right? I pay my workers every week. Right? Every single week, I have to pay my workers. They get paid, whatever they get paid. They get paid a wage, plus they get paid I have to pay payroll taxes, I have to pay workers' comp. This happens on a weekly basis for me, okay? I had a $4 million business. I was paying $100,000 a week in wages. Now, after the end of the month, a week after the end of the month, if I was really good, I sent out the bill to the customer. Customer, if they were really good, paid it a month later, if they were really good. How many of you in the private sector have seen people pay their bills in a month? Right. So odds are, on average, if I have the best customer, I am out that cash for 45 days. That's a lot. And other than Jonathan Jaffrey's investors, banks do not finance nonprofits for cash flow. Okay? And the reason they don't do it is because you can't foreclose on a nonprofit. I am not shutting down Union Rescue Mission because they're not paying their bills. Go ahead, be that bank. Okay? There's good advertising in the world of social responsibility, right? Come bank with Citibank. We shut down a mission. Cash flow will kill you. Cash flow will kill you. And even worse, as those people in business know, the larger your business gets, the larger your cash flow problem gets. Right? I used to be out, when I first showed up at Chrysalis, we had $2 million business. We had a $300,000 account receivable that we had to finance. When I left Chrysalis, we were a $4.3 million business. I had a $600,000 receivables that I had to finance. Those are not easy things to finance. And if you're a nonprofit, coming up with 600, which means when I say to finance, it means that you're financing the customer, right? If you're a business, your biggest financier is the people you buy stuff from, right? They're the ones who are giving you stuff and you don't pay them till later. You're borrowing from them. Okay. Well, we'll get to questions. I want to get to a couple of things that Kent asked me about. There's a reason, so when I was, I did 18 years of investment banking, I have an MBA. I was a managing director at a major Wall Street firm for a decade. I ran this homeless agency, and in the last 3 years of the homeless agency, I got offered a job teaching social enterprise, nonprofit management, finance, and nonprofit finance and fundraising to second-year Masters of Social Work students at UCLA. And I tried really hard to teach them how to partner with business. Running a place in a more business-like manner was very easy, but the question was, how do I partner with business? And the problem with figuring out how to partner with business is, just like every other business, you have to understand their business. You really have to understand their business. I don't care if you think that making a profit as a for-profit business, that they're cold people or that they're not good people, doesn't make a difference. They only want to sit with you if it's good for their business. Okay? They're only socially responsible because the studies have been done by McKinsey and by the universities like mine that prove to them that if they are socially responsible, it adds to their bottom line. It increases employee retention, it's easier to recruit people, and for a while there, post-Walmart, I mean, how many of you remember, it was only maybe 6 or 7 months ago, that if you turned on the TV and watched a Target ad, they never told you what was on sale at Target. All they told you about was the gifts they gave in the local community.